Welcome back to Our Community. Susie Thomas visiting with Vicki Vanatta, Bobby Hall, and McKenna Belt, all from Ohio Star Theater, which is part of Dutchman Hospitality. You know where the Dutch Valley Restaurant is and Carlisle Inn. Well, now there's a brand new 2-story, gorgeous theater that is called the Ohio Star Theater. 500 and how many seats?
14.
514 seats. So also, this seems like a great place to hold conferences and meetings and so forth because it's equipped with those 2 nice screens as well.
Yes, everything is state-of-the-art, from the lights, the projections, the audiovisual elements, everything. Mm-hmm. They've done really well with bringing everything up to date and being able to do a numerous amount of things there. Concerts, musicals. You can rent out the place. It's amazing.
Absolutely beautiful. We were just blown away by. I couldn't wait to see it and be a part of the ribbon cutting, and then to get to see it. And the production, the home game, is absolutely awesome. You just have to see it. Great message, incredible talent, the acting, the music. It's all just top drawer. First, you would travel far, far, far to see something of this caliber, and you don't have to. You just have to go right to Amish country and to the Dutchman Hospitality campus and stay, eat, and take in a show. It's pretty awesome. You guys have to live away from home in Amish country for about 6 months at a time. What's that like? What kinds of transitions do you have to make for yourselves?
Well, I grew up in a smaller town, bigger than Sugar Creek, of course, but definitely not the big city. So it wasn't too much of a change of pace for me. Definitely different with the types of things that are around. The downtown in Sugar Creek and Berlin and all these local towns, definitely different. They have a touristy feel, but it still feels like home. It's definitely a great place to live for a while. It's beautiful country. The people are so hospitable.
How do they house you all?
We actually have a couple houses that the company owns right off site, right down the road, that they house us in while we're here. So they take very good care of us.
Mm-hmm. And you're fed well, you're taken care of well. I just the mother in me is coming out to make sure you're all taken care of.
We have the best food.
Well, that's good.
So good.
That's good. What do you do for fun? Do you have any? Do you have any downtime? What do you do between shows?
We have a good bit of downtime. We get a couple days off a week. The theater runs normally Tuesday through Saturday, so Sunday and Mondays are our weekend. But there's a lot of small little things close to small towns, and Canton isn't that far away, so there's tons of things to do. We'll take in a movie on a day off, or just hang around the house and sit out and look at the cornfield. You know, we got great views where we are.
Yeah. We really picturesque views. I mean, you just look out the window and you take a picture, and it's like Instagram worthy, no filter, because it's so gorgeous out there.
Yes.
There's all kinds of little things to do around here.
Yes. And
touristy or not.
Yeah, sometimes we just go explore like Berlin or other little cities around.
Yeah, lots to do in Ohio.
Oh, definitely.
It's really, Ohio is considered America's playing field.
There's
plenty
so
of
many
things to do here. So, and Stark County in particular, I'd like to invite you up more often to see everything that we have to offer. You sometimes do 2 different shows in a day. How on earth do you change from one character into another and remember a different set of lines? And when you were doing Josiah for President, maybe a matinee, and then Mennonite Girls Can Cook in the evening, how in the world did you pull that off?
Lots of focus and lots of rehearsal and practice.
Yes, a lot of repetition to make sure that you're saying the right line in the right show and that you're who you're supposed to be.
It kind of gets into our system and our body after we do something for so long. Doing 6 to 8 shows of Josiah for President a week for about 3 or 4 months, and then going into a rehearsal process for another show, that show is second nature by then. So
it's so cool to see and to understand that we're all created so differently, because people with your gifts, you're so gifted, tend to also get the stamina necessary to do something like that. What you just described sounds like torture to me. I can't even imagine.
It definitely takes a certain type of person to do it, and we have worked to get where we are, definitely.
I'd say it's definitely a blessing and definitely a sign, if you will, that this is what we're supposed to do.
No doubt.
That we're able to do that.
You don't get a lot of time to put together. Let's talk about that work. Let's peel that back a little bit. You don't get a lot of time to put together a brand new show. When do you arrive in town? How much time do you get to put something together?
Well, this company is definitely different than a lot of other theater companies. Normally, you may receive a script beforehand, and then you'll come in and do a 2 to 3 week rehearsal process, and then open a show. Here, we get all the script and score ahead of time, and we learn it before we even get here.
Oh.
And we come in basically off book is what we say, memorized, and then we put together in 5 to 7 days. And this is our full-time job, so 5 to 7 days we put the show
madhouse.
together. Yes.
Do you have recordings of other people singing so that you can kind of practice with that? Or
depending on the show, like last year with Mennonite Girls Can Cook, it was a brand new show. So we were kind of workshopping the show as we went along, seeing what worked and what didn't work. And even a week into the show, we're like, okay, we need to cut this. This doesn't work. And we did that on the fly, like in the moment.
Glorious chaos.
Yeah. But normally, most of these shows have either been produced in our Shipshewana location where they premiere, or someone has recorded it beforehand and sent us a copy of it just so we have a reference to learn it.
So, and the playwright is okay with you going through and changing some things, or would they be more directing things? Or
they direct a lot of that. Certain things, if we're in the rehearsal process, we can talk with them and kind of collaborate and say, hey, this doesn't work for me. How can I make this work? Or it'd feel more comfortable for me to say this. Is that okay? And sometimes if it lines up with their vision, they're okay with it, or if it works for us, or they'll tell us what to change. It depends.
Do you feel you have a lot of input in these plays as part of the acting cast?
The cool thing about this is we're working with original works. We're not working with shows that have been around for years like other companies. So we do have, the company itself has a little more say with that. Us as actors, it really depends on what we're questioning with the script and what we want to change.
I mean, there's also just subtle changes that can be made to change character. And that's very just in the actor's control with how they want to use inflection. And I mean, no person plays the same character the same way. So, I mean, the variation is infinite, I would say.
Sometimes as well with a small cast, some people play more than one person and you pull that off brilliantly because, you know, as an audience member, you're like, hey, I think that's also. Sometimes you feel real smart if you're figuring it out. But is that difficult to do?
I wouldn't say difficult. No. It's just a challenge.
It's a process.
Yeah,
you're just playing a different role.
Yeah, it's just the fun of it.
Yeah, and part of that fun is, if we're playing a different role, making them so different than the other character. Yes. And that's fun for us. We enjoy creating roles like that.
Like, how do I stand different? How do I speak different? It's
everything changes.
Yeah.
And you probably feel a little bit different when you throw on a different costume and you see yourself and you kind of morph into that new character.
Yeah, definitely.
Do either of you have any inclination to want to direct someday or to write or to have other parts in this?
It's definitely a possibility. I've been working quite a few years in this industry, and I have kind of already worked myself up to choreographing shows with my local college and a couple universities around home when I'm not here during the off season, and doing some directing and musical direction. So it's definitely something I could see myself doing more in the future.
You realize you are in an area that has 5 local colleges right here. You might want to check into their theater departments. Some of them are hiring right now. I was going to let you know that.
Do you need any help? Because I'm here.
There are. And boy, would you be an answer to prayer for some of them. That would be awesome. What's your favorite part about doing all of this?
I would just say, I mean, this might sound a little cliche or whatever, but it's just meeting and being with the people. It's so awesome and wonderful to like meet these people that Blue Gate brings in, these actors, and just hanging out with them. And it like you really are creating a family unit. And it's, you know, it's kind of sad and heartbreaking when you got to leave to go on to something else because it's like, oh, keep in touch.
The other cool thing about that is a lot of us do form a family, and we keep in touch even years now after we've worked together.
Yes.
I know people all over the country now because I've worked with them throughout the years. It's definitely a great thing.
Well, let's remind everybody because they're not going to want to miss this. It's called The Home Game. Bobby, tell us who you play real quickly.
I play the character John Troyer. He's the older brother of the main Amish kid who loves playing baseball.
And you're the dependable one, stays home. If you're thinking prodigal
the responsible
son story, Mr. Responsibility.
Yes.
Who's got a dark side.
A little bit.
A little bit of a secret.
Yeah, a little bit there. But, you know how brothers can be.
Yeah,
so.
definitely.
So if you're thinking this is sounding like prodigal son, you're right.
Oh, yeah,
so,
definitely. It has that aspect.
McKenna, how about you? What do you play?
I play Ruth Weaver. She is the older sister of Hannah Weaver, who is the love interest of the baseball star.
Mm-hmm. And the only Amish girl who can't cook
is Hannah, my sister.
Yes, right.
Yes.
Yes, and so, but you evidently are very good at it.
I have a gift.
Yes. And secretly, back in the audience, kind of wishing that Ruth and John would kind of get together.
It's kind of there. Yeah, it is. And we definitely do play on that a little bit in the show. It's very subtle.
Well, it's nice to see you together here, and I hope you have a wonderful day together in visiting Canton. But thank you so much. Vicki, let's bring you in. How do people get tickets? How do people see the home game?
Oh, well, they can go online to ohiostartheater.com to get tickets online. They can actually pick their seats where they would like to sit in the theater, or they can call. The number is, the number is 855-344-7547.
Let's give that one more time.
855-344-7547.
Is there a website?
ohiostartheater.com.
Awesome. Vicki Vanana, Bobby Hall, McKenna Bell, thank you so much for coming to our community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.